It's about that time! Turn your speakers up! Hey! We are nuts here at the AJA Sports Show. We're missing the other half of the sports talk radio YouTube sandwich here, but we will prevail on. Andrew, we are missing you, buddy. We hope you are hard at work doing all those push-ups, getting all those gains going. I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something privately in his life, whatever. Every time I just think about Andrew, I think he's just working out. So whatever. Oh, sorry. How's it going,
He's
Jay?
driving Miss Davy. He's driving Miss Daisy today, taking mom and sis to the airport. Going good, man. Got off work.
Nice. Yeah, same here. We're
Lord
the hardest working men in YouTube sports small channel radio. Why do I keep calling it radio? Whatever. That's us. Hi Elizabeth. Hello El Wifey.
Lord Lizzie. Hello.
The one and only Lord Lizzie. So yeah, the NBA season is over, man. I mean, it's kind of bittersweet, but I'm ready for these playoffs to start.
I think everybody is, man. Yeah, the players are definitely ready, bro. They're tired of getting hurt for these meaningless regular season games. If they're gonna get hurt, it'll be in the playoffs. Because, hey,
dude, I keep I'm paying attention to as much baseball as I possibly can, and every freaking day someone's going to the injured list. And now that they have the COVID IL, so it's that or the 10-day, and it's just nuts. Like, I feel like every pitcher is going to probably spend 10 days on this injured list. We'll probably talk baseball on Friday, but just getting that out there. So we figured we'd hit you guys up with some of the end of season accomplishments that we pulled a couple of things to talk about. Maybe just quickly go over the NBA standings as we talk about the play-in tournament. And we got some Hall of Fame stuff we'd like to, I'd like to share and get your thoughts on some of that wonderful, gushy, heartfelt stuff over the weekend. And
I almost cried right now rewatching it, bro. I swear.
Oh man, I was doing some errands with my wife, and so I just had my phone on the ESPN app, and we stopped at a store. I was like, okay, it's I don't care who's talking right now. Okay, I'll put it away. Garnett's talking. Wait, hold on, I have to watch it on my phone for a few. But it was cool to hear these guys talk. I mean, these are the guys we grew up with. So
great class. I mean, holy Toledo, great class.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like the NBA always has class athletes, right? So, but I mean, I feel like our generation was sick. Like there were
we were spoiled.
There were so many good players.
We were absolutely spoiled.
When we're on our front porch one day, Jay, when the golden days of our lives, we're gonna be like, Kobe Bryant was the greatest shooting guard in NBA history.
Darn right.
By then, Bronny and his children will be in the NBA, and but we'll see how they fare against our generation's greatest basketball players.
And Tom Brady will still be throwing the football, right? Like,
yeah. Tom Brady is essentially just turning into a smoothie at this point. This fool is turning into
he's
spinach.
An avocado smoothie. Yeah.
So if he's Popeye, that makes Giselle olive oil, right? Because
there you go. We're writing our own sitcom here.
Oh yeah, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to do the for the NFL. They used to do like a funny little cartoon or whatever. I think it was like
Gridiron Heights. Talking about Gridiron Heights.
Gridiron Heights, yeah.
I love Gridiron Heights.
We like the quarterbacks. They would throw shade at everybody. It was funny.
It always makes those a lot better when both of our quarterbacks are like the funny ones and the good ones. Like
yeah. I think they had Josh Allen jumping through the table because obviously we Yeah, we are spoiled with our football team's quarterbacks. Okay, so I guess we could start talking about the NBA. So the season is over. I'm gonna pull up the good old standings that we've been
Jeez.
sharing time again. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was a yeah, it was a good season. I mean, the 72 game season was something we all had to get used to, right? But
Yep.
I mean, for the most part, I think we it was a pretty successful season.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like huge like I don't think there was any huge misses here where teams couldn't play multiple games or because of
Mm-mm.
like pandemic affecting them. So we're looking at the West first. Usually, uh, we talk about the East. Whatever. It's all good. So Jazz secured their title on the last game of the season. Go figure,
Mm-hmm.
because they lost 2 out of 3 or
Yep.
3 out of 4 to the Phoenix Suns. There, the Denver Nuggets rose up to 3, dude, because the Clippers decided, hey, let's just take a week off. Let's not play NBA basketball, and so the Clippers kind of dipped there a little bit at the end, even though. It looked like they were going to be the 3 seed regardless. So I mean, they're still posting a playoff series, so I guess it can't be all too bad for them. They get the Mavericks though, which have fun.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Luca gonna go super Luca. We'll see how that one plays out. And then the Trailblazers on the last game of the season clinched the 6 seed there, and
Hmm.
a little bit. I'll in a few minutes I'll show
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
that Twitter bit, and the play-in tournament we'll get to in a little. We'll get to after this, but Lakers hosting the Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies hosting the San Antonio Spurs. So
Mm-hmm.
well,
Rematch of what was it? Sunday? Yeah, Sunday
yeah.
morning. Did you watch that game? Were you working?
Uh, I I was working, but I caught some
Yeah.
highlights. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that was I mean, Steph was redonk. Steph was absolutely ridiculous, dude. He's one of the only dudes in like NBA history where when he misses, you're just absolutely surprised, just shocked. And he shot more than he like ever has in his entire career on
Right.
Sunday. Dude knew it was go time. Steve Kerr said even before the game that this is a playoff game. It was a really fun game to watch. Really
Mhm.
would have been interested to see what happens if Dylan Brooks doesn't pick up his 6th foul there. We had Joseph and Andrew at the pad, and we were watching it all together. And yeah, it was a great game, back and forth. I thought Memphis was going to win. We're gonna get a rematch of it, right? If everything goes to plan for us, at least. I'm sure we'll get to
Right.
that later. But man, Dylan Brooks was all over Steph, and Steph was hitting some tough shots on him too. And then Dylan Brooks was doing a lot of the scoring in the fourth
Mm.
quarter when they were coming back in the very beginning of the fourth quarter. He had like 7 straight points for them at a time when they were down by like 11 to bring it within 4. And then I think he fouled out a little bit of a ticky-tacky foul. Not that it shouldn't have been called, but I just think
Mhm.
Dylan Brooks, you don't want to put yourself in that situation with 5 fouls. But
Oh
um,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
You get raised up on how to not foul out of a game. So
I mean, he had 5. Draymond Green set a screen. He was playing hard all day, man, fighting over
mm,
everything, dude. So
nice.
yeah, I thought that was a great game. It's going to be a great rematch because I think Memphis wins, and I think the Golden State loses to the
Hmm.
Lakers. So I'm sure we'll give our like actual predictions later or something. But
Yeah, yeah,
cool
well,
to see them.
we'll touch base on that just in a couple minutes here, and then just to go over the East here, the Sixers. I think the Sixers clinched it a few days ago, but the 1 seed, they got the. Oh, did
I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment. One second for me, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, we're live. Uh, Jay did a little disappearing act there. Okay, okay. All right. So let me just
Yep, yep,
vent.
yep.
I checked my internet before we went on. I was like, great. It's a part of my it's a part of my rundown. And then, life happens. A bird hit a tree at the wrong angle. Osama bin Laden, who's been dead for 20 years, his ghost just threw a telephone line. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Hopefully, we don't get canceled for saying a terrorist name. Sorry, YouTube. Don't censor us here. But thanks for holding the show together there for a minute or so.
No problem. You might have to get one of those little how we do those little copyright infringement ones. You have to write one up after this, Ace, for that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I know we kind of paused there for a sec, but we'll just hop right back into it, not wasting
Yeah.
the time. So Sixers, the 1 seed, the Brooklyn Nets, made it to their 2 seed without much, not much worry there at this weekend. The
Right.
Bucks held on to the 3. The Knicks fought their way. They were the 6 seed a couple days ago,
Hmm.
and so they get to host a playoff series. Go
They
Knicks!
clinched that on Sunday, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good series. I think it's a pretty winnable series for them. The Hawks have been playing really well, but Julius
Mhm.
Randle has been lighting it up, man. That dude's
Yeah.
been really good. So
Yeah, the four plays 5, 3 plays 6. So the Milwaukee
mhm.
Bucks have to face Miami again after getting bounced last
Yeah,
season. So
dude. I
mm,
mean, tough that they don't have Oladipo, right? Because he had that season-ending hamstring surgery there. But yeah,
yeah, I love how my wife, while I was gone, said, "Please stand by," and Jay coming in with the thank you everyone too. So
yeah,
it happens. It's all good.
yeah.
Playing tournament's gonna be Celtics hosting the Wizards, the
Hmm.
Pacers hosting the Hornets. So we'll hop into the playing tournament and again in a few minutes, but talk
Hey,
about the
Ace,
yo
Ace, real quick.
talk
If
to
I
me.
had to ask you, right, if you just had to guess, what was the
Mhm.
opening line of that Boston Washington game? What do you think the line would be? Who would you give the opening line edge to?
Shit, I'd say it's under 2 to 3. I don't.
That's a good
I
guess.
would probably. I'd probably make it even if I had to, like because Washington's doing pretty well. Boston's the home team, but so I
Yeah,
mean, but
and I think that's
what?
where I think that's like where it ended up. So that's why I was curious. I was curious what you thought. They
Mm,
gave the three. They gave you were perfect, right on the money, 3 points, and they gave it to Boston probably because of the home court advantage. I assume. I
gotcha.
don't.
Well, that's
I
probably
don't.
that's
I might
probably
bet. I would bet that, Ace. I like that. I think the
yeah.
Wizards can win that game, dude.
I bet you that's implied though. Like that's implied
Yeah,
home
it
field home
implied.
field
Yep,
playoff advantage, but
they
I
do
don't think
that in
that's
football. In
yeah.
football, it's pretty much like 2.5, 3. So,
Yeah, you always get 2.5, 3. Yeah. Oh,
hmm,
it's.
hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I'd be happy to be Boston, but I mean, I guess they're still
Right?
technically favored. It's gonna be tough for them.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. I mean, like look, Russell Westbrook, right? In the month of May, he averaged 26 points, 13.8 rebounds, 16 assists, and shot 48% from the field.
yeah,
I
nuts.
mean, that's
Absolutely
Bradley Beal.
nuts.
He's still Bradley Beal, and you still got Bradley Beal who's going to get you 30 every day. He's going to score 30 points.
So I pulling up this graphic here that I
That dude's
so
stats,
graciously
man,
graciously borrowed
unbelievable.
from NBA.com. So these two were the NBA Players of the Month. Just shortened month, have you? But whatever. Uh, Steph actually won it for April and May, which makes sense that the Warriors pulled out and made it all the way up uh, to the 8th seed, right? Because there was a time where they weren't even close. So
No, they were sitting at 10 there for a pretty second. Hmm.
yeah. It'd be, the Russell Westbrook, obviously Mr. Triple Double,
Yeah,
stats put up the
ridiculous.
ridiculous stats.
And
And
that was
Washington,
them. Yeah, they went 5-4. They were hotter than that before. They went on like an 8 game
yeah.
winning streak. So 5-4 is fine. I mean, like you're above 500, but for a team that was scrapping there, that's all you got to really do in the Eastern Conference, though, guys.
Oh yeah, you just gotta be float above the line there. Just a
Jiminy,
little bit
dude.
is enough. Yeah,
Lakers are the
the
7 in the West. Ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but those both those guys got their teams to be the 8th seeds, right? So that just
Yep.
shows you like, elite guards, elite point guards, did enough to get their teams from 10 and 11 seeds to 8 seeds over the last month of the season. So I mean, good on them. Good on them.
Right.
Pretty good play. But yeah, you were right. The Washington Wizards climbed up a little bit, and then I think they just leveled out there. So we'll see how they.
Bradley Beal missed. He left one game early and missed 2. So I know that he was out a few with a hamstring or something like that.
Yeah. I think he's still feeling that too. So hopefully for their sake he can get some rest because the playing games start tomorrow.
Baby.
Tomorrow and Wednesday, and then the playoffs actually start on the 22nd, which is what, Sunday? I didn't even double check. But
I think it's Saturday or Sunday. Ooh, that'd be cool, man.
Saturday.
If it opens up Saturday,
Saturday.
Are they gonna open up with like some morning basketball? I love morning.
I hope so. Dude. Yeah, morning basketball is an underrated thing.
Absolutely.
Once you get over cartoons, watching watching cartoons on the Saturday mornings,
right?
Morning basketball is cool too. Yeah. I remember, I was a good student most of my life. Towards the end of high school, I trailed off a little bit. When I was in we used to go to church every Sunday with my fam.
Yeah,
I used to go to Sunday school for a few years there. When I would get out of Sunday school early, and sometimes before I would go back to church, I'd go into our hall, like next to the church, and there was the custodian had a closet, like the size of anybody's closet, and he had like a little 12-inch TV, black and white, and I used to stand there for like 10-15 minutes of watching some NBA.
Let's go.
I was like, who's that? Ron Harper?
Yeah.
I can't even make out the players because they were one of those. You remember those TVs that used to be like you could pick them up. I don't know. They were like this. Yeah. It was you had to angle the antenna just right. Which my computer doesn't have an antenna, so that's probably why I'm having technical difficulties over here.
You need the bunny ears. Where's Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh, my poor buddy. I love my buddy. I'm sorry.
So some of the I preluded talking about some of the end of season accomplishments. So we could talk about Curry and finish off with him. He led the Warriors this season, obviously. He's the all-time leader for them in points and assists. This year he was the scoring title champ. He's done that multiple times. He's number 2 on the all-time threes list. This season he passed Reggie Miller, and then he's still got like 140 to go to pass Ray Allen. So he'll do that next season. He chucked in like 900 threes this year and made like 330 of them. So he led the league in 3-point attempts and led the league in 3 points made. And Curry's good.
He's unbelievable.
I can't deny. I mean, no one can deny that, right? He's got multiple MVPs, multiple championships, multiple scoring titles. It's just interesting. I don't devalue what he does for that franchise, but it's like when you watch someone be so good for so long that you just kind of have enough of it,
it's called it's LeBron fatigue. It's like the LeBron fatigue for some people, bro.
I was raised on Kobe, and 20 years for playing the Lakers. Duncan played 17 years for the Spurs, never left their team.
I think it's wasn't it like 19? I think.
Oh, was it 19?
Like 19. Yeah, one under Kobe.
Yeah, you're right. It was 19. Who else? Dirk Nowitzki played 21 seasons for the Mavericks.
I think it was like 20 seasons as well.
So I've talked about Curry maybe joining the Lakers, just as like a pipe. But I do think he's going to finish his career with the Golden State Warriors. And
that'd be pretty sick. A little throwback.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
there's only ever been 2 seasons in NBA history where a player has averaged 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 3-pointers, and both of them are from Steph Curry. Golden State's offense with Steph Curry this year, Asa, was 10th in the NBA. They were the worst in 5 seasons in the NBA without him on the floor. And then when you look at it, another we got a stat muse one here where he averaged 32 points per game, obviously led the NBA, oldest to win scoring title since Michael Jordan. He had 38 30-point games, which is the most since Michael Jordan. He shot 337 threes, as you mentioned, which led the NBA. Fourth 300 3 a season, which is the most ever. He had 7, 10, 3-game seasons, which was the most ever. 5.3 3-point 3-point field goals made per game, and that's the most ever. And then he broke the Warriors' all-time scoring record of the season. He literally did everything.
You remember? I think it was. Oh, this had been one of our first basketball shows, but I think he broke another record like this year. He was the most. He's made the most threes in a game. He's made the second most threes in a game. Like this guy, and then he's also done it in an 11-game span, a 10-game span, a 9-game span, an 8-game
span. Yeah. From like 17 games down to like 1. Yeah, he's the most.
Shit, dude, he's nuts.
He's ridiculous.
It's cool though. Like he's gonna probably go down as the best shooter of all time, and he deserves it. I mean,
he is the best shooter of all time, dude. He's unbelievable.
Didn't want to leave Elizabeth out here in the cold. Bring yourself in, warm up with this with me talking. Reading your comments. Saturday morning basketball and a cup of Joe just hits different. Say less, absolutely. Lizzie. Say less.
We can't wait for football to come back. Football in the mornings with
Sunday morning roast. AJ Sports Show.
You know it. You know where to be, baby. Watch me lose a lot of money on DFS.
So yeah, right. Kyrie finished the season in the 50-40-90 club, which is which is cool. 90% free throw shooting, 40% 3-point shooting, and 50% from the 2-point conversions. So I mean, obviously, you got to be a solid shooter to do that, and it would be
a pretty darn good one.
Pretty darn good. I guess it makes sense. It makes sense though, right? Because you play on a really stacked team. So if you get the ball, most likely you have a wide open shot. So if you're not, you don't have a wide open shot, you're facilitating and maybe you're driving the rim and getting fouled on your way up. And so, but yeah, great shooter. He's I was thinking yesterday. I was like, what if he never plays basketball again after this season? And I don't know. I don't know if this is going to happen, but he's been very, very like critical of making sure like the NBA, when they cover basketball players, also cover their opinions and their likes and dislikes and things that are going on in the world. So he's been very active. He I believe he's Muslim now. I think he converted to Muslim. So that's interesting. And he, I respect it, dude. I don't think we've had enough athletes in our time, right? Because you probably could look, at Cassius Clay becoming Muhammad Ali and, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Like, these basketball players who and a boxer who during their time changed their names and really let people know like, hey, this is what I'm all about. But I have a feeling that, and I could be wrong, but I don't know if he's gonna like. I want him to continue playing. Kyrie's awesome, but I just don't know. I wonder if like he's gonna take a step back at some point just because of like his personal opinions on the world and maybe he wants to do more. But as a basketball player, you have a lot of reach, so hopefully he can use kind of balance it out and make himself happy while also supporting entertainment for a bunch of kids out there who can see him and be like, oh, okay, I could be great at a sport and also like really impact someone else's life, not just because I'm a good basketball player. So
the off court mentality nowadays is a big key that people are focusing in on, and that's good to see. Kyrie's one guy who to watch play. He's probably one of my top 5 players to watch play in terms of just on the basketball court, the stuff he's able to do with the ball. I feel like he's like the most artistic in the NBA nowadays, kind of like how Kobe used to be with like the really good footwork and the artistry of the game. Like Steph is unbelievable and it's so much fun to watch. He's obviously number one because of the range in which he shoots and how many times he shoots from deep. But Kyrie's up there in terms of his skillful ability with the basketball. So he's always entertaining to watch. He's only the 9th player ever in NBA history to have a 50, 40, 90 season. Larry Bird did it. Mark Price, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, KD, Steph, Malcolm Brogdon, and then now obviously Kyrie. You know what I always think of though, whenever I think of the 50, 40, 90 season? It happened last year. Chris Middleton missed having a 50, 40, 90 season by 0.1 percentage points on the field goal percentage. He finished with 49.9, like a 41% 3-point percentage, and like a 90.8 free throw percentage. But he was at a 49.9. Just missed a 50, 40, 90 season last year. And
dude, that's like 2 or 3 like bounces of the ball that just didn't go his way.
Yeah, just a couple of unlucky. It just sounds like something that would only happen to Chris Middleton. Like
you gotta throw. Yeah, you gotta throw me. It's egregious out there because like
it's egregious.
Yeah. It is
one shot, literally probably one shot, and he gets there. He makes one more shot. It just reminds up every layup he's ever missed in the NBA. He's like, oh my god, that could have been the one.
Dude, like Tom Brady, the last game of the season, he's throwing it to Chris Godwin so he can get his his reception bonus. He's throwing it to Antonio Brown so he can get a TD bonus. Like, I know that the players probably don't track this stuff, but man,
someone does. Someone tells him, bro.
Giannis, throw a screen. Give him an easier 2-point shot, man.
Let him get one more bucket, man. Help you improve. Jimmy, dude.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's
I'm on board. But I always think about that, dude. By 0.1%, I would lose it, dude. I don't know what I would do. I go crazy.
That's rough, yeah. So we talked about really good basketball players. We're going to talk about a regular human like us, a mortal man who just so happened to bet his mortgage on the Portland Trailblazers winning 42 games this season.
Good on you, mate.
And 12 games ago, they needed to win 10 out of their last 12 for that to happen. And pulling this up here, let me see if I could zoom in a little bit here. But he tweeted at Dame. He's like, Dame, how is your hamstring? ? I need you guys to win 42 games this year or I lose my house. Huge fan if I'm in a mansion or homeless. And then he did like the handshake emoji. And then Dame said, say less. And they did it. They pulled it out. I mean, it took him to the last game of the season.
I was about to say this dude had the sweat, man. I remember when we first talked about it, they went on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak, like after because Dame missed some time. I was like, this guy's gonna lose his house. He doesn't even know it, dude. They were 32-20. Yep. So before their 12 games, this last 12 game span, they were 32-28. Like this dude was losing his home, and then obviously they went on to win 10 of their last 12. Man, I was hoping they would lose against Denver, but Denver decided not to show up yesterday. Crazy, man.
Mr. Tree Sap, I forgot his name already, but dude, just know Dame Time didn't do it for you. Dame Time did it because he wants to be in the playoffs, and he wanted to have a higher seed. They do, so they get to face the. Well, they get a rematch though. They get to face the Denver Nuggets now. So like the Nuggets didn't show in that series, but
so now you get them. You better hope you don't. Yeah, you better hope if you're Denver, you don't eat crow for that.
Well, maybe Malone it was like strategy for Denver, right? Maybe because they were like, okay, well, if we get the 3 seed, so be it. But let's not expose all our cards and got to play a 7-game series, right? So every impact you can make on strategy is gonna be important, right? And so we'll see how those two fare. I feel like we'll probably. Hey Andrew, what's going on? What up, fellas? What up, Andrew?
What up, eh?
You missed our technical difficulties.
Yeah, seriously.
I did a freeze frame, and it wasn't a pretty picture of me. I pulled up my phone. And I was like, "Crap, I'm frozen." and I just see Jay like, "Hey, what's up? I'm just vibing here."
Big chillin', baby.
But I hope you're doing good, Andrew. That dude was eternally lucky. The Blazers. So lucky. The Blazers are going to be a hard out in the playoffs, especially. Especially that there's I think they're healthy, right? Dame's
good. CJ Nurk. Yep, everyone's good. Melo comes. You got Melo off the bench. They got Rocco, Norman Powell. I like Norman Powell, man. That dude can score the ball.
Mm-hmm. So I figure we'll probably we can get into like I don't know if we're gonna do predictions for these NBA playoffs. I think we'll just kind of live it by the seat of our pants. And
Maybe
we'll
with
just kind of go with
Andrew.
the
Maybe we could do one when
yeah, yeah,
Andrew
yeah.
gets back. We could put together a
So
little video.
yeah, yeah. But let's we could talk about the well, we wanted to talk about the play-in tournament, right? So
Right.
starting tomorrow, it's the Eastern bracket. So the two games tomorrow will be the Washington Wizards at the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
The Celtics, you said, were favored by 3, and then the
Yeah, I believe they're favorite.
Charlotte Hornets at Indiana. And they're, I think, also favored by 3. It was a couple points. The 7-8 is Washington Boston. Who do you like in that one?
I think we were talking about it a little bit before the stream. I want to go Boston because of how much I love JT, and they're at home. I mean, I can see them winning this game because Washington plays so little defense. But I'm worried about Kemba Walker's their second scorer, I guess now, and that's great. But I really having Jaylen Brown makes such a big difference. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Kemba
Kemba's
doesn't always.
Good. Yeah.
He doesn't always show. He doesn't always facilitate. He
Yeah.
he can score and he can facilitate, but he doesn't always
Right.
bring that level that I like to see out of him.
Yeah, I mean, even if that was like a good game, like, all right, Kemba's not gonna, he's not the guy who's always gonna take over entirely. Like his good games are like what 25, 26. That's what Jaylen Brown was around averaging on the season. Right. I mean, you're asking to replace a lot against a team like the Washington Wizards, who are playing pretty well. They went 5-4 down the stretch, but we mentioned how Bradley Beal didn't play a little bit. Bradley Beal's going to score 30 points a game. Russell Westbrook's going to average a triple-double, especially now that, I mean, look at what he's been doing in May, like we just talked about. And this is the playoffs now. So you're going to get a triple-double from Russ. You're going to get 30 points from Bradley Beal. And it's going to be up to Rui Hachimura and Davis Bertans to hit a couple of buckets in order to outscore them and win in Boston. I like that 3-point line. I can see the Wizards taking this game. I still think Boston will make it as the 8 seed because they'll beat whoever is in there between Indiana and who's the 10 now, Ace?
Indiana's the 10, Charlotte's the 10. Yeah. Charlotte's the 10, Indiana's the 9.
Yeah, so I'd have them beating either one of those guys. So I mean, they'll still be in, but I think there's a good chance that they lose this game against Washington.
So I mean, you get the advantage of if you lose, you get to play the 9-10 seed winner for the last chance to get the 8 seed, right? So even worst case scenario, you lose tomorrow night for these guys, you still get one more shot.
Right.
The game, I think the second games are on Friday this week. So a couple.
Is it Thursday and Friday? Probably
Thursday,
I think it's Thursday and Friday.
Thursday
right?
and Friday, yeah. So. And then leading into Saturday where it starts. So playoffs start right after. Charlotte at Indiana. You have a feeling about this one, or
yeah? I mean, Indiana is they were really good defensively last year. There's a lot of talk about Bergeron, I believe his name is, that new coach that they got because they fired Nate McMillan because God knows why, who's now winning a bunch of games with the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, golly, dude. Nate McMillan was winning ball games in Indiana.
Yeah.
And then you let him go because Indiana has more injuries than anybody. Every year, I'm like, man, Indiana looks like they're going to really be able to do some stuff if they stay healthy this year. Jeremy Lamb was Jeremy Lamb didn't play pretty much all this season. I think he played like maybe 10 games. I'm blanking. He scored a bunch for them last postseason. TJ Warren didn't play the entire season. So, I mean, that team all of a sudden is Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, Jeremy Lamb, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, TJ Warren. I mean, they are stacked when they are healthy. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of friction with this dude Bergeron over there at the front office. Apparently, a lot of people were talking about him maybe being on the out and being a one-and-done-year coach. But they don't play any defense, man.
There's not. It's not like you have a mega superstar there where it's like, okay, well, the mega superstar doesn't want this coach, so we're gonna kick out McMillan. But I mean, I don't know. It must have been some behind-the-scenes stuff that they didn't let come to pass. But yeah, I mean, I think that game. I think the East is very close. So
right.
It's just who's going to show up, who's gonna put up who's going to give you the best opportunity. And when you look at it like that, I mean, you can't really fault the Boston Celtics and Washington Wizards making it as the 7-8 seed because you look at them and you're like, okay, well, they have either have the top talent or they have the most wily vets. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think it would be a slight upset to see Charlotte or Indiana pull up that 8 seed, but
Hmm.
only one of those has a shot at the 8 seed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
We'll see
they're
what
saying
happens
apparently
tomorrow.
Gordon. So apparently they're saying Gordon Hayward is likely to not play
Ooh,
in this play-in, right? So here's my question: um, in that series, who's the best player on the floor? Domantas Sabonis or is LaMelo Ball like the second best player on the floor? Basically, is what I'm trying to say,
shit.
right? I think LaMelo Ball, as a rookie,
Maybe.
may or well may be the second best player on the floor tomorrow.
Yeah, you could argue that. I think you can argue that
Uh
for sure
huh.
because
I mean,
he's not
Terry
a he.
Rozier. I mean, is maybe if you want. I think LaMelo Ball is better than Terry Rozier, but
Yeah, I mean he yeah. I
yeah.
mean, scary Terry. Yeah,
Hmm.
the Lamelo. Yeah, you make a pretty simple case that Lamelo can
Yeah.
just facilitate the shit out of the ball, and
Hmm.
he's not. We'll see. I mean, he's not afraid to move the ball around. Not afraid to
Mm-mm.
to get in there to get some steals. He is a little clumsy in the fact that he does produce a little bit of turnovers. We talked about that as he kind of was rising
Hmm.
up the ranks, but making up for it and the fact that he is scoring and he is getting some assists. So he
Right. Or
he might lose the rookie of the year, but I mean Anthony Edwards, he not in the playoffs. Lamelo Ball does, so
yeah, I was gonna say maybe I guess I don't want to give more credit to Malcolm Brogdon because Malcolm Brogdon is very good, but
mhm.
I mean we kind of know what Malcolm Brogdon is now, right? Like I mean
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's very good, very consistent, but I mean what he's like a 20 point a game, 18 point a game guy. He's not he's
Yeah.
not that the guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
so
you have to go from 18 and 20 to
mhm,
26 to 28, you know. Yeah,
to
it's
be the
like
guy.
it's
Yeah,
that
I mean
leap and
uh huh.
only
Demarcus Sabonis
it's
made
only a
it.
few. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
I mean,
I
Demarcus
mean,
Sabonis was averaging like 18 points a game last year, 17 points a game. This year,
well,
he's up to like 22, almost
mhm.
23 points a game. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I,
possible to take that leap. I just don't, I don't know about that.
Sabonis
Yeah,
averaged
yes, he did.
triple double in the month of
Yes,
May.
he did. He was doing everything for them, dude.
Mhm.
He was trying to get Indiana in there. But like I
Mhm.
said, hey, look at all the injuries they had, man. I mean, if they're 100% healthy, like me and Asa were just going over, this roster is loaded.
Yeah, maybe maybe they're the they're the 8 seed and they hold off Washington from making that huge comeback because like these bottom teams of the East, right, they're just barely above water, so like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
and a couple of them finished with the minus 500 record, so
They have
go
a lot of
figure.
flaws. They have a lot of flaws, these teams.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the East, throw it up, see what happens. It hopefully will produce wild basketball, and we can
Yeah.
just get some good action out of that. So taking it over on this side of the Mississippi, we got the just barely because actually I don't even know if Memphis is on the left side
No,
of the
I think it is.
Mississippi River.
Yeah, I think you're still on the right side there.
um, damn, I'm not a geography nerd, so I'm not 100% sure. But most jokes, there's that one line from The Office where someone said to Michael Scott, they're like, "Oh, you had to be there," like that a
Yeah,
generic
yeah,
response that
yeah.
we say to people, and then Michael Scott's like, "Oh, geography jokes."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so whatever river is Memphis to the left of. So you got the 8-10, the 9-10. You got the San Antonio Spurs, who are the 10 seed, facing off against the Memphis Grizzlies as the 9 seed, and then you got the 7 and 8, which is the Golden State Warriors of the 8, facing off against the Lakers, who are the 7 seed.
Good
Memphis
luck.
is. Yeah, right. Memphis is favored by I think like 3.5 to 4,
Mhm.
and the Lakers were 6.5 favorites, but it dropped down to 4.5. So either way, like these games have a half to a point and a half differential from the East slate, so a little bit of difference there. Uh,
Mhm.
so let's talk about San Antonio versus Memphis. What do you think of there?
Yeah, so San Antonio, they obviously lost Marcus Aldridge this year. I like a lot of their pieces, but they did really struggle down the stretch. DeJounte Murray is someone that they really believe in. They believe that in San Antonio that DeJounte Murray has the opportunity to be a top 5 point guard there. They still have DeMar DeRozan, who's obviously a proven veteran. He has his playoff shortcomings, obviously. They're not going to come very often in like the play-in round. It starts for as much as people give DeMar DeRozan crap. All right, I will give him this. Every time he lost, it was pretty much to LeBron freaking James. So yeah, DeMar DeRozan's not LeBron James.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose a lot, So
well, shucks.
And I saw some stuff with Memphis the other day that kind of scared me, man. Jaren Jackson obviously has missed a lot of time, and he looks like he's missed a lot of time. Not that he's out of shape or anything like that, but he just doesn't have his rhythm on the floor. He's taking shots on like off rhythm timings. I just wasn't a fan of looking at that. And then when you go even deeper and you see Dylan Brooks was their main source of offense there at the end, and John Morant, he's really struggling to shoot right now. They talked about it, how his 3-point shooting this year was only like 31%, but they talked about how it was really strugglesome in the beginning. He really struggled in the first half of the season, was really starting to come on at the end. I didn't see it the other day, man. The Warriors were daring him. Even Doris Burke made a comment about it, that this is a dare shot. Like, they're telling you, bro, you can have it. Go ahead. If you hit it, you hit it. And he's not. And he's not. And when he's not hitting it, and Jonas Valanciunas isn't getting 20 rebounds and tearing it up on the offensive end, they struggle to score. Like I said, Dylan Brooks was the main source of offense in that fourth quarter. End of the third, beginning of the fourth. He is the only reason that the Memphis Grizzlies were in that game. And I'm telling you, I like Memphis. I thought they were going to win yesterday against Golden State.
They don't have, Grayson Allen has had to save them a few games this season where he's
not playing. He's out.
And he's out. Yeah, he's dropping, where he dropped 25, 27 points because he's yanking it from the three.
They need 3-point shooters. Yeah, they need to add more 3-point shooting this offseason to help with John Morant. I mean, when you look at their starting lineup, Ace, their starting lineup they roll out is Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks, Jonas, and Triple J. Triple J shoots it whateverly. Dylan Brooks shoots volume, but he's not a great 3-point shooter. And Kyle Anderson, with that weird little side pushing shot that he's got going on, is shooting around 32% also. So, I mean, Ja is like the second best 3-point shooting percentage guy probably on their starting five, which is not
kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it's in a league that's all we're doing.
Yeah. Andrew loves inside jokes. He'd love to be a part of one someday. Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. No, just kidding. Thank you for the drop in the office.
Andrew, yeah, between you and Andrew, you guys can have whole conversations of just like references, just office references for you two, man.
I know.
Y'all are unbelievable.
I constantly drop. What's the procedure? When when Dwight sets fire in the office and it's craziness.
Man, between The Office or How I Met Your Mother, dude, I'm set, bro. Like, you need that TV that show that's on in the background while you're doing stuff. Office, How I Met Your Mother, either one, chalk it up. I don't ever need another one. I'm good.
Both of those are major TV shows. Major TV shows.
Major.
So I just wanted to throw the reference out there.
Gotcha, man.
Okay, so I mean, let's just be real here. I don't think Golden State or the Lakers are, unless they F up royally, I don't think these two teams are missing their shot at making the playoffs here. Save Bandit. Oh, here we go. Angela tossing her cat into the ceiling.
She said, "Call it."
Call it. This is this is from the episode where they have the fake dummy.
Yeah.
And Kevin getting tired. Dude, in that episode, Creed's got 2 lines and they're both hilarious. He tells the lady who came from the Red Cross or whatever. She's like, "I saw you in the parking lot. That's where I know you from."
That's how I know you from. Yep.
And then Dwight's like, "Okay, he's dead. What do we do now? What's the procedure? Does anybody know what to do?" And then I think Phyllis says, "Check to see if he's a donor or something." And then Creed's like, "I already checked. He doesn't have a wallet on him."
Creed's already looking for it.
Yeah. I love Kevin, says Andrew. Cassie coming in here saying, Hi, losers. Hey, Cass. What's up, girl?
Lord Lizzie doesn't like Kevin?
He is an organ donor. I don't know why, but she just said her favorite line was from Kevin. So, are you sure you don't like Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin's funny, man. I mean, he's not like my favorite or anything.
I watched Criminal Minds to sleep.
Oh yeah, Cassie's crazy.
You and my sis. You're just a different
crazy.
Breed, you know,
can't do it.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna get off track here. If I
Lakers and Warriors. Lakers and Warriors. What Lakers? Right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So Lakers have to win this, and they have to approach this as like I don't want to say like overlook stuff, but they have to look at this like we have to play really good basketball because we haven't had a lot of time playing together. You know, we have to keep putting in the reps in. So I think they come out. I think they play the majority of minutes. And the hope is that they drain some threes, they make some plays, play some defense like they have all season, and just hold Steph to a reasonable score line, and you win that game, and then Steph comes out a couple of days later and dismantles the Spurs and the Grizzlies. Like I don't think either one is a I don't think the Warriors have a problem with either of those two teams. And I mean, if you're the Lakers or the Warriors, right? You look at this and you're like, okay, we have you got to face Utah or the Phoenix Suns, right? Like those are your only two options, right? So I mean, either way you look at it, I could see the Lakers having more series success over either of those two teams. I would think it'd be reasonably a little harder for the Warriors to pull out a 7-game series against Utah or the Phoenix Suns. But we'll see. Like we've talked about it all season, right, Jay? You, me, Andrew, we all said we're not scared of the top two teams, and they're the top two teams still. So we got to see if we can put our money where our mouth is and see if the Lakers can actually pull that off.
Yeah,
Andrew, Lakers in 1. Yep,
you know it, baby. That's how you got to start it this year. It's okay. That's how we got to start it this year, but it's all good. Got to win the first.
We'll see how
I just. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying. If we get the Jazz, let's say we happen to drop to the 8, and we get the Jazz. I mean, Anthony Davis is the Rudy Gobert demolisher. I mean, Anthony Davis is splits versus Rudy Gobert. If he just played Rudy Gobert, he'd be like a top 5 player all time. How much he dominates Rudy Gobert. And then against the Suns, I mean, besides DeAndre Ayton, like. This is going to be a scary proposition because the Lakers were a really good rebounding team and a really long, big team last year with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. All we did to that was add Andre Drummond, who's a space eater. And then when we take out Andre Drummond, you've already seen Harrell has kind of not been MIA from the lineup, but definitely has seen his minutes restricted. Marc Gasol's coming back in a lot because we need another playmaker out there when LeBron takes a seat. So yeah, I think that the Lakers' size is going to be a big problem against Phoenix if they happen to be the 7th seed against Phoenix. I think we're going to win the first game. I just don't see how. I mean, I can see Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis having like 40 rebounds combined, dude. Like really. I mean, they're going to throw Kevon Looney out there, and they're both going to eat against Kevon Looney and Draymond Green.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Lakers basketball when LeBron and AD were both hurt, and I looked at Andre Drummond and I'm like, oh crap, like this guy's not playing good. But for some reason, not some reason, but when his his big brothers are playing, AD and LeBron, he shows up. He plays really well. He gets a double. He gets involved. I just want to say to you, Andre Drummond, I am so thankful you're a Los Angeles Laker and not a Brooklyn Net. Because you didn't retire like LaMarcus Aldridge did. But, dude, slam dunk the ball. You are tall, you have muscles, and you can jump reasonably high. Slam dunk the ball and stop throwing the ball at the freaking hoop. He does. You beautiful center. Okay, just do it and stop giving me anxiety.
He does miss some layups. I will admit that, but
yeah. So it is what it is. I think maybe that's just like this Laker team doesn't slam dunk the ball a lot as it is. I don't know if that's strategy because like maybe like they're just thinking, oh well, let's not wear our bodies down as the whole season goes on. Obviously they're not young anymore, so to speak.
Right.
But it's interesting to watch him decide if he's going to lay it up or dunk it, and when he lays it up,
Right.
he sometimes misses. It is what it
Well,
is.
he has a better percentage when he dunks it, so I think you just like seeing him dunk it a little more. That's all.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky, or Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the NBA season is over. The play-in tournament starts tomorrow. All freaking exciting stuff, right? But we're gonna throw it back a little bit for the last couple of topics here, and we'll start with the Hall of Fame ceremony. So the 2020 class had to be introduced this year because they canceled it last year, obviously. So we got our top three main events were Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs, Kevin Garnett of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Boston Celtics, and Kobe Bryant of your Los Angeles Lakers. I just have a couple of stats. I know you're the stats guy, right? But I'm gonna throw you a couple of stats, okay?
I love it. I love it.
And I just want you to appreciate how crazy of our little bubble of growing up was. Okay. From 1998 to 2009, Duncan, Garnett, and Kobe were either MVP, champion of the world, or had the scoring title Every year they either checked both of those boxes or one of those boxes, but there was not a year where one of these guys wasn't at the top of the MVP or a final or having the scoring title.
Dang, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it feels like it gets better after this. You hear that when you're like, well, that's good. So, and mind you, there's a lot of slander that gets thrown Kobe's way. So I'm so damn thankful that he's in this stat. But here's this one. This group, Tim Duncan has been all-time NBA defense 15 years. And Garnett and Kobe are two on the list both at 12 years. So. These guys lead the NBA history since they've been tracking all NBA defense. Tim Duncan at the top, Kobe and Garnett at 12 times apiece too. So which is great because anytime I have the stats, so anytime someone tells me, well, Kobe scored 81, but how many assists did he get? He got 4 assists.
Yeah,
he was responsible for 89 points that game.
Oh my God! Did you hear Kwame Brown today?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Oh, dude, he went off. I don't know if he was on Instagram Live or something, but he went off on the 81-point game that Kobe had. He was like, "Who do you think was setting all those screens?" Like when people make fun of me because I say that me and Kobe scored 82 points and won the game. That's because you've never won anything. And I was setting all the screens. And then he went off on Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, calling him really calling him out, words I will not say on here. But you can go look it up. Kwame Brown today went absolutely off. It was 8 in the morning. I'm looking at my Twitter and Kwame Brown is trending. I'm like, why in God's name is Kwame Brown trending? I was like, oh, maybe it's a funny thing from Kobe. And then I see 2 videos of him just absolutely going off on these dudes.
He woke up and chose
violence.
Chose violence today. He chose to stir the pot for some.
I was wait, what?
He must have gotten some angry tweets or some mocking tweets from people saying, because Kobe just was inducted and maybe they showed some highlights or I don't know.
That's what I thought at first, dude. That's what I thought. But I think he was doing an interview, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But he specifically called out Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
Whoever he was doing the interview with, they were like, we're just gonna cut this after
right.
We're not gonna put our name on this one.
That's not gonna actually happen. Let me see.
Covered by. So sometimes in the newspaper, they write they usually write the byline of who wrote that article, but sometimes they write newspaper staff. That one's just going to be covered by news station.
Right. No one specific.
So while you look that up, I'm gonna throw individual an individual stat. So I talked about these three as a unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
From 98 to 2009, all team defense, great careers, right? So Garnett and Wilt Chamberlain are the only players in NBA history that when they won the when they won MVP, they also had the scoring title and the rebound title that year. So Garnett did that in his
Wow.
I think MVP season.
Yeah, I think I won, right?
And then this one's crazy because I think underrated. What's going on? What's going
Hey,
on?
Uncle.
What's going on, Mama? Tim Duncan, I think, will always be supremely undervalued because from anybody outside of San Antonio, or just general basketball, like loose fan, like someone who's not invested in it too much. But
Right.
Tim Duncan, he's the only player in NBA history who attributed to 100 win shares for his team on offense and defense. So, by his play over the years, he's attributed to
100 wins.
100 wins on offense and defense. That means he made offensive plays
Dang.
and defensive plays that
Yeah, that's a
attributed.
good one.
That's insane, dude.
That's
then
nuts.
the last one here. So the Kobe got slander back in the day for defense, and he also got it because he used to yank shots, right? So
Yep.
so you know what, America? I'm gonna give you the Kobe stat. The only thing Kobe leads the NBA in currently is missed shots. Missed shots. He leads the league in missed shots. He has 14,481. John Havlicek has 13,417. So just like a thousand below him. And what I want to say. He's driving Miss Daisy around right now. He's the Andrew limousine service. This show's not the same. No, we completely agree. We completely agree.
I miss my buddy.
So I wanted to spin this in the most positive way ever because Kobe Bryant, yes, he missed 14,481 shots. I don't give a shit. Kobe was never afraid to shoot it at the last second of the buzzer. Everybody knew it was going to him, and he still shot it anyways. And I think generally speaking, it just speaks to your ability to score and make a play with the ball when you're gonna miss. Whatever, it is what it is. You might get fouled, you might miss, you might you might swish it, right? But he was never afraid of the moment. And honestly, his first game, right, he went like 0 for something, like 0 for 11 or something. And
I believe so.
And it is what it is, right? But he came and he wasn't afraid of the moment, and he chased that moment, and that's what makes him the greatest Laker in NBA history, or in my opinion at least.
He's unbelievable, dude. The Mamba mentality will live on forever. And hot on my poor Nino.
Oh man. But
yeah, Kobe was obviously my favorite player. I mean, I absolutely adored Kobe Bryant, and finding out that news on that day was, one of the hardest things that you're ever going to have to grasp with. We've talked about it, and you're supposed to see your idols grow old and, be able to cherish that time and see them, do this Hall of Fame thing that they're supposed to be doing. And feels like we got robbed. And that's, how I pretty much always talk about it whenever I bring up, talk with Kobe Bryant. Again, and the Mamba mentality will live on forever so long as, people continue to, live their lives by it. You see a lot of people upholding it already. Sabrina, it was unbelievable to watch the other day. I believe it was the day that he was getting inducted. Sabrina Ionesco and Diana Taurasi both hit game-winning three-pointers. And they're both the Kobe prodigies in the WNBA. And not even just in the WNBA, in the world. And it was just absolutely it's just so fitting to see. And that's how it's going to continue to, that's how Kobe's mentality and his essence and his being and his, not just his playing ability, but what he meant to everybody is going to continue to be a thing because people continuously live by that way and, want to follow that way of him doing things. So,
yeah, I think that was the kickoff to the WNBA season 2. I think that's what.
It was the first day. It was the opening day of the WNBA.
Yeah, that's awesome. The way that I look at Kobe Bryant is, I just look at someone who had issues, much like almost everybody I know, who was in the spotlight, who seemed to me like he knew he wasn't going to be perfect, but to whatever he never lived to like other people's standards or whatever box they try to put him in. People compared him to Michael. He would be like, nope, I'm better. I'm going to be better than Michael. People compared him to LeBron. Nope, I'm going to be better than LeBron. So he was just vicious. Like, he didn't give a shit. Like, he did the snarl. Like, like he like scared the living daylights, I'm sure, out of defenses. And thankfully, I never had to like deal with that because I was rooting for him. And I have a good buddy at work who I'm glad he's in my corner because like he's got like his Mamba mentality of his own where thankfully that guy's on my team because I don't have to worry about like Kobe
the other end of that. Yeah,
Kobe doing anything redonkulous against me.
So what you imagine if somebody did like what he did to Toronto against us? Oh my God!
Right. Oh yeah. But then LA would never get to live that down, right? So.
Because it's LA, and everyone loves to hate on the LA teams.
Woodland Hills.
We don't like you guys because of your great weather and your fantastic beaches.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to point the camera out there, but we had a gloomy day the last couple of days, so we have a balance.
Yeah, see, we're just like everyone else. We have out of 365 days, there are 360 days that are bad weather.
Yeah, definitely. So that was like if you haven't, I know you were just before we hopped on, you were watching some highlights from the night too, but it was cool. Like I was trying to think like what would Kobe say? Kobe would probably like talk shit to Duncan and Garnett when he got up there. Probably be like I was the best player. No, I don't know if he would have said that, but yeah, he was It was cool to see him. Special moments forever. Spoiled to I was spoiled to no end watching Lakers games.
Yep.
I lived through the down years as a franchise too. So like I got to appreciate what he was able to bring to the Lakers and I mean we're used to dynasties here, but got to see what. We also got to see what it was like to not be the number one seed and to try so hard and to tear your Achilles and go up to the line still and make 2 free throws, knowing your season was ended, but still come in in clutch to beat the Warriors that one night.
Mm-hmm.
So, we could discuss this when the next Hall of Fame group comes in, but I just wanted to drop their names real quick. So, Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, and Chris Webber will be the 3 highlights of the next year's class. Which I mean, Paul Pierce, great player. Chris Bosh, great player. Chris Webber, great player. This class was like ridiculous, and then the next 3 come in, and I'm like, oh man, I would not like to be the next 3 after Duncan, after Garnett. Yeah,
I mean, holy snot, dude, no way. I mean, Duncan and Kobe alone have 10. Good luck.
Right.
What does Pierce? I mean, Paul Pierce has 1, right? Paul Pierce has 1. Chris Webber never got 1, and who was the other one? Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh.
He's got the most.
Got it with Miami. Yeah,
he's got the most with 2 with Miami.
Chris Webber will be forever known for calling a timeout when he didn't have one when he was in college basketball.
Oh, so Ace, I need to talk to you about this because this was a big conversation, a topic between Andrew and Joseph with us at Disneyland the other day on Saturday. Ben Wallace is apparently a Hall of Famer.
No.
Yeah, he is. That's why I believe he's getting in.
Seriously?
Yeah. And we brought up some really good points. Did you know I believe it's 4-time defensive player of the year?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I knew that.
Okay, I didn't know he had 4.
I thought he had 3, but okay.
Yeah, he had 4 apparently. And he never averaged more than 10 points in a season.
So how are you? You're the most valuable player because you're the most valuable defensive player. And
yeah, well, when no, he had 4 defensive player of the year. Yeah, only him and Mutombo. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know, dude.
I guess. I mean, okay. I don't know.
His career averages are 5.7, 9.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. That's his career averages. I get he's not a scorer, but really, that's what we're doing now.
So I would have to rationalize it as you have to have moments to be a Hall of Fame player, not just the resume. I
Oh,
think you
have to.
have I think you have to be able to like say like I've won the championship as well as defensive MVP. So I mean, or defensive player of the year. So he does have one title, 2003 2004 Lakers lost to the Pistons that year, but he also played like like I mean, he played in the time in the NBA where he could just get away with anything. So I'm not gonna hold that against him, but I mean, he'd be borderline for me because not because he's not because he doesn't have the accolades for it, but it just a kind of my vibe on it.
Yeah. So I was curious. I was just curious about it because we were talking. And I was like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
And then it brought me up. Okay, so it got me thinking, right, about that Piston team because the guys mentioned, hey, like they beat the Lakers, man. Like, yeah, that's a big championship. That's just not. You can't just have that be like a normal championship. This is against Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Lakers. Okay,
yeah.
right? Okay, I get that. I get that. So Chauncey Billups not a Hall of Famer because I'm almost positive he's not a Hall of Famer right now. Hasn't gotten in yet.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but Chauncey
I,
Billups averaged 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, Finals MVP, and 2-time All-Defensive Player. Now, Ben Wallace is a 4-time All-Star, 2001, 2002 block champion, so 1-time, 5-time All-NBA, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time rebounding champ, 2004 championship, and then 6-time All-Defense. But if Ben Wallace is in, Chauncey Billups should be in, right?
yeah, I mean, you know what it kind of feels like, that team. It kind of feels like they're like the team that kind of gets in together. They win the award together for like
Yeah.
oh the best Pistons team of the
Right.
21st century.
Right.
Like I don't know.
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's tough, right?
Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton. I mean, they had some guys there, and like,
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We're saying that Tayshaun Prince, I mean, he probably doesn't have the accolades that the other guys do, but Rip Hamilton's probably up there with some accolades. Rip Hamilton was a great defensive player, great two-way player. And that's kind of what I was just getting at. Right. Rashid was good too. He even played well in Portland. But the thing I was trying to get at with the guys is like, how exclusive are we going to allow this to be now, right? Because the minute you let Ben Wallace in, it's not the fact that it's wishy-washy, because you could make an argument for Ben Wallace to be in, but then it's can you have this guy in who's like right near Ben Wallace, and if you have Ben Wallace, why can't you have this guy? I can sway you all types of ways, and we did the math, and I believe it was like 3.8% of NBA players make the Hall of Fame, and like 1.9% of NFL players make the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So I like that 1.9% a little bit. That's almost half, right? And instead of it being like an almost 4% chance of making the Hall of Fame.
Bro, I'm gonna call it right here. He doesn't deserve it. Not because he wasn't. Not because he wasn't fantastic, but he's not top 2% to me. Like if I'm gonna hold, like I don't want to remember his name in 30 years because of those accolades. Like I get it. Like you decided to be the scrappiest rebounder / defender, and I get that and I appreciate that. But
and it's not all about numbers, right? I'm not trying to say like you have to meet a certain threshold, but the whole point of the Hall of Fame is that it's a mix of all of it. Like the best players that belong in the Hall have the numbers, have the cultural, have the production, and also do it in terms of the win column. Like do all of it, and that's what makes them Hall of Fame players. And my worry is not that the NBA is going down that route, but I just got to be a little controversial every now and again. Is how muddy are we going to allow this Hall of Fame to start getting to like Hall of Very Good? Like that's not what it is. It's the Hall of Fame. And people say, "Oh, it's really hard to get into the Hall of Fame." Yes, yeah, it's hard to get into the Hall of Fame
for a good freaking reason.
I mean, it's tough. That's why there's not supposed to be very many people in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a thought because I heard Ben Wallace was getting in. I looked it up right now. I'm not 100% sure he is, but I believe he was. So
I mean, he played 16 years, I think, and he barely played like 1,000 games. So also to me, like, there's no longevity there. Like, I don't know. I mean, he missed some time too on the floor. Okay, So we're gonna transition to one quick thing and then another quick thing. So Rudy Tomjanovich said that Robert Horry deserves to be
ask me this.
a Hall of Famer, right? And I'm split down the middle too because like, seven times
he's got 7
NBA champion, right? And
hit some big shots. Hit a big shot for the San Antonio when he was there. Hit a big shot in LA when he was here. His name wasn't Big Shot Bob for nothing, man.
He hit one when he won it in Houston too. When Rudy Tomjanovich was his coach, he hit a clutch shot too. So again, I think this is the Ben Wallace argument too. It's like right there. You can make a case for it. The 7-time NBA champion to me almost reads like when Andrew talks about Bill Russell when he was playing against the laundromat players of the NBA,
just racking them up.
He was like Robert Horry will probably go down as like the most clutch role player in NBA history. Because he made so many clutch playoff shots. I think he doesn't make the Hall of Fame because of that. Like he never averaged more than 10 points in a season. He showed up in the playoffs kind of when he wanted to, made the shots. Super good player. Played a lot of seasons too. But I think you're right though. I don't think if you don't let Ben Wallace in, you don't let Robert Horry in. So
I mean, when you look at the teams he played for, because that's the first thing everyone's going to point to. Everyone's going to point to, oh well, he's a 7-time champion. I mean, he played with the Lakers and the Spurs in the early '90s and mid 2000s. Like they were winning all the championships. Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant was winning every single one of those championships. No one else was. Boston got one from the East, and that was like it.
What, like in 11 years or something, they won 8 of the titles. Like it was ridiculous.
It was, exactly. It was kind of like, and I brought this up before, where it was like when Tiger was so dominant, it was, are you going to pick Tiger or the field? And you were almost dumb to ever pick the field.
Tiger.
Tiger. It's always Tiger. Tiger. So, I mean, I see what you're saying, man, because when you look at the numbers, they are not like super impressive. They don't jump off the screen to you.
They're not.
So I think 7. I mean, 7's a ton, man, and I can see why he needs to be in there and why people make the argument for him being in there. But it's the Hall of Fame. We have to have everything. He never made he never made an NBA All Pro, never made a defensive team, never made an All Star game. 7-time NBA champ. He made all rookie his rookie season, and that's it. I mean, I'm not saying that's it. He got 7 championships, but again, it's the Hall of Fame. I think you need to give it like a more exclusive word, like the Hall of Ridiculously, Absolutely, Stupendously, Fantastic Basketball Players Fame or something like that. It's really like, just like,
he's almost he's almost in the attic of the NBA, right? But then once you put all these players up in the attic, then you need like a separate attic for like the MJs, the Kobes,
right. So we need the penthouse above the attic.
Yeah,
exactly.
the actual the Hall of the Fame.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So I'm gonna play a clip real quick, and then we're gonna end our show here with some good feelings. So so Marv Albert just wanted to wish happy trails to you, bro. He's gonna retire after the playoffs this year. Marv Albert, man, we grew up with him calling plays. Yes, and the foul. Like I can just hear his voice when I could hear my voice too, man. So I just wanted to play a clip, and this is like kind of funny too because it's Robert Horry's game winner against the Sacramento Kings, Game 4, Lakers Kings Western Conference Finals. This was the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for the Sacramento Kings because this was their best shot at beating the Lakers. Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, and then Robert Horry comes out and he's just standing there waiting for his shot. Kobe misses, Shaq misses, Vlade Divac hits the ball to Robert Horry, and here is the call. Thank you, Marv Albert.
You love 7 seconds. Bryant putting the move on Christie. Rebound O'Neal coming up short. Horry for the win.
Bang! Oh, dude, the look off after. Oh,
I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have chills. I have literal chills.
Goosebumps.
I have literal like my skin, man. And I wanted to end it on that good vibe feeling because Marv Albert took us to our happy place.
Heck
I
yeah.
remember he hit that shot, Jay. You, me, Andrew, Mike. We ran down your guys' out of your house, down the neighborhood. We're all adolescents. We're like preteens to like, 8-year-olds, and we're just running down the street, just hollering, "Go Lakers!" Like it was a mood. And if I could leave you guys with anything,
my God.
if I could leave you guys with anything, find the thing in your life that makes you that happy, because there's only a few, we only get few days. We're a microcosm of this whole universe. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. We found some of what we love to do, which is talking about sports. So that's why we're here. That's why we trailed on without Andrew. Missing you, We'll have you on the next show. You'll be a guest appearance, I guess, if you want to be there.
Long-term guest appearance.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for us today, guys. This was Court Sessions. He was Jay. I'm Ace. Have a great night, folks. If I hit the outro.